live in 3 minutes. Do you think any of the other musicians? Oh, here he is. Okay, that makes me calm.
First one on the set list. Yeah.
La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la la. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. 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 Let's sing it together. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. 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 הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Micah. I want to begin by sharing a conversation that I had with one of the kids in our religious school. He asked me, "Does God pray?" And I said, "You betcha. Of course God prays. But how do we know?" says the kid. So I tell him, well, just like we have a temple, God has a temple. It's in Jerusalem. And on God's temple it says, Beiti beit tefillah yikareh lechol ha'amim, that my house of prayer shall be a house of prayer for all people. Just like our house of prayer. So that temple in Jerusalem, God calls it my house of prayer. So that's the temple in which God prays. So now I'm up in front of kids, and this other kid says, "So what is God's prayer?" Right. So I'm thinking on my feet, and I'm like, okay, first of all, the kids in our J-Lab religious school are brilliant. According to tradition, I tell the kid, God's prayer is this: may it be my will that my mercy will overcome my anger, that I conduct myself toward others, toward Israel, with the attributes of compassion, of rachamim. So the noise of the week and its lack of compassion is out there, and it is leaving us and our sanctuary with the descending sun out of our sight. And in the beauty of this sacred space, our place of prayer, everybody's place of prayer, we begin to close the door upon the week that was and exists for a little bit in that liminal space between what has been and what will be. So we want to thank you all very much for joining us this evening, as together we welcome not just you, but the Sabbath, your clergy, Rabbi Lori, who will share words of Torah later, Cantor Josh Goldberg and I, talented singers, songwriters, musicians, Michael Hunter Oakes, a veteran here of the Micah Sanctuary.
And Cajonist tonight also.
Chris Smallwood and my friend Sarah Strum are here, all to help tell us the greatest story that was ever told. And it begins with the power of bringing order to chaos and light to darkness. So very shortly, we are going to fill this sacred space with light. But before we do that, we always like to begin on a happy note and hear what's going on that's happy in your lives. So, Sue's already got a finger. I'm coming that way, Sue. Hold on.
I am very blessed to, I don't want to get too much, to have come back from Florida, where I visited my second grandchild, Miss Sophia Bell, named after my mother, and she does karaoke at age 2. She sings Let It Go, like every child. I had no idea. Full blast. And then, I'm not done yet. Then I'm going to Ireland in a week and a half, where my grandson, Liam, the Irishman, sits on his father's shoulders, and they do Irish dancing together. So I am feeling healthy and blessed and in this wonderful place, and so glad to be here tonight.
So we got grandchildren. We got leaving Florida, which always makes Rabbi Laurie very happy when we leave Florida. We got dancing, we got singing. If you would like to add Sophie to our talented list later at some point in the future, we'd love to have her come sing karaoke with us. Okay, hold on.
So while we're on the subject, our grandson Brody, God willing, in July will have a little sister. And our niece who visited this past week told us that in August, Brody and his little sister will have twin first cousins.
The Jewish people are growing. Thank you, Bruce. Yes, we say, B'sha'a tova, may everything come at the right time and may be just perfect. What else? Do we have any visitors that want to get embarrassed? No. That are joining us? Yes? Somebody? You're pointing. Yes, Paul's got a visitor. Tell us your name, will you please?
I'm David Statt. I'm from the Chicago area. Friend with Paul Fisher here, and I'm on vacation to have a relaxing time, and thought it'd be nice to stop by here.
Oh, outstanding. Thank you so much for joining us from Chi-Town. We got a nice weather for you. You know, one of the greatest feelings in the world is to give money or do something really special anonymously and then get caught. And I don't like to embarrass anyone, but I heard you, Nancy, have been tutoring English to immigrants to our country for a couple hours each week for quite some time. I just want to say Yesher Koach, thank you very much. People should know in the community what people are doing. Has it ever been anyone's lifelong dream to light candles on the internet? Would anyone be willing to light candles on the internet? It's a really easy gig. You just got to take this little, all right.
You have to do it in real
Aileen's
life,
coming forward.
and then it'll be replayed on the internet.
Here you go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue by welcoming in the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha Yishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Shemo tiferet v'lichila Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor haberacha mirosh mikedem nesucha. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 כשדברי Kavod Adonai, alayich nigla. Let's hear you. Lechadodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lechadodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uv'tzola, tochem unei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lechadodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lechadodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Yitkadal ve'yitkada shemei rabba, be'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyom hechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv, v'immeru amen, yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam ul'al me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, ve'yishtabach, ve'yitpa'ar, ve'yitromam, ve'yitnaseh, ve'yitadar, ve'yitaleh, ve'yithalal, shemei dekudesha, b'richu, le'ela min kol bechata ve'shirata, tushbechata ve'nechemata, damiran be'alma, ve'meru amen. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Ya lay 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 lay. Ya lay 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 lay. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai.
I invite you to please read with me. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב 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 הרבים my new friend Sarah Stern to help us get ready for the Shema with this prayer, an English version by Tennessee Rabbi Rami Shapiro. We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love.
We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting.
We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love.
Embrace, touch, soothe, and counsel. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love.
We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love. Just voices. We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an ending love, an unending love. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam veshiv בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Shiri Bibas and her two young sons, Ariel and baby Kfir, who were abducted by terrorists into the Gaza Strip and then murdered there, were buried this week in a single casket, mother and child wrapped in an eternal embrace. Ariel was 4 years old, and Kfir was just 9 months old when they were seized by Hamas on October 7th. Tens of thousands of people gathered along roads and highways of a 60-kilometer route to the cemetery. Many held orange balloons or wore orange, a tribute to the bright-colored hair of Ariel and Kfir. It sort of became an icon of their plight. Additionally, the bodies of 4 other Israelis were redeemed from Hamas. Funerals and shivas continue. However, though perhaps still imprisoned by trauma, some of the hostages have gotten to go home. I wrote in our weekly blast this week, there are certain people that are required to give thanks. One of them is a released prisoner. So we were blessed to know, oh, the picture's not there. I don't know where the video went either. We were blessed to know one of the mothers of the hostages that was released, Omer Shem Tov. And watching the video, which I don't know if we can find at some point, was very, very touching. We continue to pray for those who are unable to know freedom. You gonna find it? Oh, you found it. Okay, I got it. Watch this. I don't know if Omer offered the prayer for gratitude. I do know that you're supposed to offer it to someone who you feel close to, and that the Nashville rabbis had a special email chain going, knowing that this family had been reunited. It is a time certainly for celebration, but we also are still praying for those who have not yet been released. So please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who helps release the captives.
Amen.
Our song of freedom.
So this is a new tune that came from Central Synagogue in New York for Micha Mocha. Cantor Dan Mutlu wrote it. Yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la. Try that. Yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la la. Chamocha bailim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osefele nora la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osefelet. You are my strength, and you are my song. You have become my liberation, liberation. You are my strength, and you are my song. You have become my liberation, liberation. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Try that. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. I'm gonna do a little switcheroo and bring Michael back to the piano.
A lot of talented musicians.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'ha'idenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu
In the darkness
Adonai
of the night,
Eloheinu
when I'm scared
V'shalom
to close my eyes,
V'ha'idenu
won't you ease my
Shomreinu
troubled mind?
L'chaim. Hashkivenu
May you guide us
Adonai
on our way.
Eloheinu
Walk beside us
V'shalom
and keep us safe.
V'ha'idenu
Hear these humble
Shomreinu
words we pray.
L'chaim.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, in the shadow of your wing. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, in the promise morning brings.
Hashkivenu
So much heartache,
Adonai
so much hurt,
Eloheinu
So many hunger,
Mishalom.
so many search
Bahamidenu.
for your shelter
Shomrenu.
and peace on earth.
Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu,
Adonai.
Adonai,
Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu,
Adonai.
Adonai,
Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu,
Adonai.
Adonai, Shalom.
We invite those who do not find it difficult to please rise for tefillah, our central prayer.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehiratecha, Ufi Yagi Tefilatecha. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagin Tehilatecha. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur v'Hanora, El Elyon, Komel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח מוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
And as always, we leave a little time for your own silent thoughts and prayers, and you may be seated when you're through.
Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav. Ki ata hu melech Adon, melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol eit uvechol shah bishlomecha bishlomecha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav. Thank you, Michael. I believe you wrote that at Micah around 2004. I saw some people remembered it clearly.
Shabbat Shalom. Shlomo Mansour was just 3 years old when thousands of Muslim rioters filled the streets of Baghdad in the early summer of 1941, some armed with swords, others with knives. They descended on Jewish streets and apartments, and they began to loot and kill and rape. And Mansour wrote, "They broke into our home, badly beating my father and dealing my mother as well multiple hard blows. When the family dog tried to protect her owners, the attackers killed her as well." I know we have a lot of dog lovers in this room, so I knew that was going to hit hard. As the rioters looted the house, Mansour ran upstairs to the roof. He heard screaming and he saw a horrifying act that remains in his memory to this day. The diary describes the murder of a baby by assailants, and the screams were coming from the child's mother. The events unleashed in Baghdad on June 1st and 2nd of 1941 are remembered as the Farhud. The term translates roughly as violent dispossession. The number of Jews killed in the city over those 2 days is usually estimated at 200, but some believe it's much higher, perhaps even 1,000. The Nazis were ascendant in World War II at the time. The Holocaust was well underway in Europe, and the British appeared to be losing their grip in the Middle East. Power in Iraq was briefly seized by a pro-Nazi coup. The population was inflamed by rhetoric coming from, among others, the Palestinian Muslim leader Haj Amin al-Husseini, a Nazi collaborator who was then in Iraq. The Jews are an abomination everywhere, the popular pro-Nazi radio host Yunus Bahri broadcast to Iraqis in Arabic in late May 1941. According to one scholarly account, the broadcast said, "And recall the verse in the Quran, the greatest enemies of humanity are those who trust the Jews." The Jews were behind the crimes of the British Empire, Bahri told his audience, and scheming to set up a Hebrew state in Palestine. It was 4 days later that mobs attacked their Jewish neighbors. British troops stationed outside Baghdad did not move to intervene. The Mansours were saved, according to Shlomo's daughters, by the intervention of another neighbor, a Muslim woman, who told the mob that the home was hers. It's clear now that little Shlomo Mansour glimpsed a pivotal event in the modern history of the Middle East. The 1941 massacre heralded the eventual end of the ancient Jewish community in Iraq, if not across the entire Islamic world, and arguably foreshadowed the fate of other minorities like Yazidis and Christians under Arab Muslim rule. In the Iraq of Mansour's childhood, some Jews were secular communists seeking brotherhood with Iraqi Muslims. Others hoped for the emergence of an Arab-Jewish identity that would make them equal citizens in a modern country. Few were Zionists, but the massacre and the many others that followed across the Arab world changed everything. Albert Mimi, the great Jewish writer from Tunisia, would later observe that it is not Zionism that has caused Arab anti-Semitism, but the other way around. Within a decade, the victims of the Farhud, along with almost the entire Jewish community of Iraq, were scattered, moving to Israel and elsewhere. When Shlomo Mansour was 13, his family fled Iraq for the new Jewish state, part of the mass exodus and expulsion of the early 1950s. All told, about 800,000 Jews left their homes in the Islamic world, most of them becoming Israelis. At 16, Shlomo found a home at the tiny frontier kibbutz called Kisufim, a cluster of huts on the border of the Gaza Strip. He married Mazal, whose family came from Aleppo, Syria, where the ancient Jewish community had been gutted by looting and arson committed by Syrian Muslims on November 30th, 1947, the day after the United Nations vote to partition Palestine. He worked at the eyeglasses factory owned by the kibbutz, fixed any of his neighbors' appliances that needed fixing, and he never left. The kibbutzim near the Gaza border have always been associated with Israel's political left and the desire for peaceful relations between Jews and Arabs, a point that has been made often since October 7th, both by admirers of residents' idealism and by critics mocking their naivete. Shlomo Mansour, a carpenter, a father of 5 and grandfather of 12, a man whose only extravagance was that spectacular mustache, expected to end his life at the kibbutz in southern Israel, where he fixed cupboards and clocks and tended to his garden in the heat. He'd done his best to raise forward-looking Israeli children, bringing them cookies at recess when they were little, never burdening them with his past. His daughters, who live in central Israel, remember him devising art projects for his grandchildren and plying them with ice cream on every visit. Their father broadcast optimism and lived in the here and now. So if the red-headed children, Ariel and Kafir Bibas, were famous as the youngest Israeli hostages until last week when the 4-year-old and 9-month-old were confirmed to have been killed. Mansour was known as the oldest. He was 85 when he was taken. When asked if their father saw the Palestinians of Gaza as people who could be good neighbors, perhaps peace partners one day, his daughters responded no. He saw them as a threat. And yet, they said that he treated any person, Arab or Jew, with respect and looked any person he met right in the eye, that he never lost his Arabic, and he would speak the language with his wife when they didn't want the kids to understand. On the morning of October 7th, thousands of Palestinian terrorists, as we know, as well as civilians, surged out of the Gaza Strip and engulfed Israel's border communities, including Kisufim. At Mansour's kibbutz, the attackers set fire to a home with 2 parents and their teenage son inside, asphyxiating them. For hours, there was no sign of the Israeli army. The state that was supposed to protect Jews in the Middle East seemed to have disappeared. For 12, 24, even 36 hours, depending on their location, Israelis were at the mercy of adherents of the most violent strain of Islam, people inflamed by propaganda identical to that broadcast on Iraqi radio in 1941. The terrorists overcame and killed the members of the civilian security team at Kisufim. They murdered 6 Thai workers and went house to house seeking victims. Mansour was hiding with Mazal in their home when gunmen shot their way in. Mazal hid, but they found her. They came up to me, she said, with their weapons, and I said, "Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me." They left her, but they bound her 85-year-old husband and forced him outside, and Mazal watched him being dragged by Palestinian men across the ground into Gaza and never saw him again. Mansour was killed on the first day of the war or immediately thereafter. And when Shlomo Mansour came to Israel as a child, a decade after the mass murder he witnessed in Iraq, the state of Israel gave him a new life in a country where his people were the majority, where he would be protected by a Jewish army and freed from the nightmares of the past. He had a full and happy life, but at 8 decades after he ran on his 3-year-old legs up to the roof in Baghdad to escape killers, they came for him again, and he was alone again. Now, I have been, I think like many of you, mesmerized by the various stories of the hostages and those who are now deceased, murdered, but still held captive in Gaza. We are all familiar with the Bibas family and their story. The murder of the Bibas family is a tragedy that defies words. It's the kind of heartbreak that makes you want to scream into a void, to demand answers from a world that feels so impossibly broken. Shiri Bibas and her 2 boys, Ariel and Kafir, were taken from us in an act of terror so cruel it shakes the very foundations of what it means to be a human being. And yet, we sit with this grief, and we also find ourselves searching for meaning, because that is what we do as Jews. We take the shards of pain and we try to piece them into something sacred. So this week we read from Parshat Truma, where the word saviv, meaning surrounding or encircling, appears again and again. It describes the sacred spaces in the Mishkan, the tabernacle, where holiness is protected by careful borders. Saviv is about creating a circle of safety, a perimeter of love and reverence around what matters most. But here's the gut punch. The name Bibas is Saviv spelled backward. What should have been a name symbolizing protection and care was turned inside out by terror. And yet, in the face of this darkness, something extraordinary happened. Over 100,000 people, as Rabbi Flip mentioned, lined the streets for their funeral procession. They came not just to mourn, but to surround this family with love, an act of defiance against hatred. Across continents, from Argentina to Hungary to New York, Jews stood together, proving that even when we are shattered, we are unbroken. This is Saviv in its truest form, a community encircling its own with strength and compassion. The Torah teaches us that sacred things must be protected, whether it's the golden crown of the ark or the altar in the Mishkan, as in our Torah portion, or today when we are reminded that our people are no less sacred. The outpouring of unity in response to this tragedy is a testament to our resilience and our refusal to let terror define us. So where do we go from here? We honor Shiri and Ariel and Kafir and Shlomo and all who have lost their lives to murder and tragedy by building stronger circles around each other. Circles of faith, circles of justice, and circles of love. We commit to protecting not just our families, but our values and our future. And we remember that even in our darkest moments, there is light in how we come together. May their memory be a blessing. May their story inspire us to hold each other closer and never let go. I invite you right now to hug someone sitting near you and wish them a Shabbat of peace, a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
We are going to turn our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers to some of the people who need them the most. We mention from our community, Deborah Brodsky and Florence Wittenstein, Richard Heller, Susan Heller, Kim Middleton, Bill Schreibman, Eddie Sandberg, Jeff Margolis, Jared Camrus, John Mitchell, and Tobias Houghton. If there's names I've neglected to mention or just ones you'd like to say aloud. Think of Mansour, the entire Bibas family, the entire state of Israel, and all those places in the world that are quite broken. And we offer this prayer for healing.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu makor and
Thank you, Sarah and Chris. We are going to begin our concluding prayers with the words of Aleinu. We invite you all once again, if you are able to, please rise. We need some people to come open this Ark doors. It's another opportunity to be on the internet and to come close to Torah. Thank you, Avery's.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, עתיד גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
We think now of those who have passed this world, and we recall on the anniversaries of their deaths Nikolai Borsakow, Irma Goldman-Codden, Mr. Jerry Dushin, Maureen Susie Glazer, Jerry Glick, Sylvia Goldstein, Walter Lample Jr., Ted Lippman, Jeanette Meyer, Harry Newell, Lou Ortega, James Politzer, Ann Rothschild, Janice Salinger, Harry Saunders, Mark Siegel, Selma Silberst Kaplan, Walter Stern, Norman Sulkin, Dora Weiss, Iris Weissman. We also to continue to mourn for Brian Hitchcock, Rabbi Micah Ellenson, Richard Heller, Leslie Susan Winter, Ethel Ress, Mark Hiller, Craig Smith, Nancy Lee Glynn, Clinton Thomas McCormick, Ken Eisenberg, Alton Grove, Judith Mandel, Jonathan Biller, Gertrude B. Noren, Sidney Rappaport, Alan Grolman, Jeff Harwood, David Plashnik, Alvina Pereira, Homer Middleton, Dr. Daniel Bachman, Michael Walsh, Alan Elliott Goldstein, Joyce Abramovitz Margolis, Judith Richter, Carol Isabel Korn, David Crystal, John Holmes Wolfarth, Edward Horn, Dolores Edward, Susan Duffy, Mara Schwartz, Baxter Overton, Alan Frohl, Joe Fontella, Esther Didi Denbo Lippman, Chip Alberts, Senator Joe Lieberman, and Alex Morgan. Other names or ones you'd like to say aloud? We think of all people who have been a blessing to humanity, and we join together in Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalav izman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadai v'yitale v'yitalal, Shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, dameran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. We say Zikronah Livracha, that their memories should always live on and be a blessing. I'm not going to let you sit. This is what I'm going to tell you. In this very room, on Sunday morning at 10 a.m., we will be defying depravity. If you're in for a good time, and you want to see people costumed up and painted green, including Rabbi Lori, if you want to bring a Gagger purposely of macaroni or pasta or something that will make loud noise that then we will then donate to the Bellevue Food Bank. Festivities start at 10 a.m. And if you want to part, come at 9. Anything to add?
No, get ready to sing some wicked songs.
Yeah, Cantor Josh was very helpful. I was writing way outside my genre. A Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chayam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Big thank you to Chris Smallwood and Michael Oakes for 3 weeks in a row. It's been such a pleasure to have you back in Nashville, and we hope you'll come more and for longer.
Thank you, Josh.
We love having you.
I love it being here.
Can you take us out?
Ose shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.